Continuing on with the series of ranking the best NHL player from every round of every draft since 2000, we are now at the third round. We're kind of in the closing stretch of this series, and it's definitely been a lot of fun. And since we are now higher up in the rounds, there's going to be so many options to choose from every draft, so these next 3 videos should definitely be a lot of fun. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into today's video, the best third round pick from every NHL draft since 2000. And of course, if you guys are a hockey fan and you have not already, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video. Kicking off the video with the 2000 NHL draft, and my pick is Dominic Moore, who was selected 95th overall in 2000 by the New York Rangers. And Dominic Moore was never a superstar. He was never even really a top 6 forward for that matter, but he was always a very reliable two-way centerman who could play on the 3rd or 4th line. Dominic Moore finished his NHL career with 897 games played, 106 goals, and 176 assists for 282 total points, and he actually won the Bill Masterson Trophy in 2013-14. Moving on now to 2001, and my pick is Patrick Sharp, who was selected 95th overall by the Philadelphia Flyers, but I do want to give honorable mentions to Thomas Plekanec and Craig Andersen because they both had really good careers as well. But getting back to Patrick Sharp, I feel like he was a really underrated piece for that Blackhawks dynasty, who was kind of overshadowed by Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and even Duncan Keith for that matter. But Patrick Sharp was a very big part of those Stanley Cups. His career high was 78 points, that came in 2013-14, and he was always a big time playoff performer for them as well. He finished his career with 939 games played and 620 total points. Not a Hall of Famer, but he had a fantastic NHL career. From 2002, I definitely have to go with Valtteri Filppula, who was selected 95th overall by the Red Wings, but I do want to give an honorable mention to other current Red Wing Frans Nielsen and Gregory Campbell, who were both pretty solid throughout their career, but I feel like of the 3, Valtteri Filppula definitely had the most success in his NHL career. He won the 2008 Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings. He's played 998 total games, so he's gonna hit 1,000 here soon, and has put up 510 total points. Another guy who was never a superstar, but overall just very solid. For 2003, I definitely have to go with Clarke MacArthur, who was selected 74th overall by the Buffalo Sabres. Another notable NHL player who was selected in this round was Dan Carcillo, but obviously Clarke MacArthur was a little bit more successful than him. MacArthur put up 304 career points in 552 games. He always had a little bit of a problem staying healthy, but when he was on the ice, he was usually good for like a 45 to 60 point season. MacArthur's playing career concluded in the 2016-17 year with Ottawa, where he only played 4 regular season games and 19 playoff games. Next up, we have 2004, and there was a couple other notable players, but I decided to go with Alexander Edler, who was the 91st overall pick by the Vancouver Canucks. The other notable players I was talking about were defenseman Andrei Sekera and Johan Franzen, who both had pretty solid careers as well. Alex Edler is currently 33 years old and is still playing pretty well for the Vancouver Canucks, as he has 21 points in 40 games this year and has a +8 rating. He's definitely a great mentor for a young defenseman like Quinn Hughes to learn from. And basically ever since Edler came into the league as a full-timer in 2007-2008, he has been a very good defender for the Vancouver Canucks. 2005 was a pretty tough one. There are a ton of good options, but I went with Kris Letang, who was selected by the Penguins 62nd overall. And what a night this was for the Penguins, getting Sidney Crosby 1st overall and a defenseman like Kris Letang in the 3rd round. I do want to give honorable mentions to goaltenders Ben Bishop and Jonathan Quick and defenseman Chris Russell. All those guys have had really good careers so far, but me personally, I just decided to give it to Letang. He has 524 career points in 789 games. He's won multiple Stanley Cups and has obviously been a massive part of the Penguins team basically ever since he came into the league in 2007-2008. From 2006, we have probably the biggest name player in the video, and that is Brad Marchand, who was selected 71st overall by the Boston Bruins, and what a steal that has turned out to be. Obviously, Brad Marchand has blossomed into a superstar and is now one of the best wingers in the entire NHL. He is 31 years old, so he was kind of a late bloomer, but still, better late than never. He cracked 100 points last season. He's on pace to crack 100 points again. A player that you would definitely hate to play against, but probably a guy you would love to have on your team. From 2007, my pick is Alex Killorn of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who was selected 77th overall, and I do want to give an honorable mention to Evgeny Dadonov, who's probably the better player right now, but remember, this is based off of their career success, and Dadonov spent a lot of his time in the KHL. But getting back to Killorn, man, what a year is he having. 20 goals already in 47 games, which is a career high for him, and 39 total points, which is just 8 points off his career high of 47. He's having a career year and a very underrated year as well. Moving along now to 2008, and my pick definitely has to be Adam Henrique, who was selected 82nd overall by by the New Jersey Devils and is obviously now currently a member of the Anaheim Ducks, and I think it is safe to say his best offensive years are probably behind him. Henrique is still a pretty solid player for the Anaheim Ducks, and overall he hasn't had much playoff success in his career. He's only been there twice, once with the Devils in 2011-2012 and once with the Ducks in 2017-18 where they were swept in 4 games. But all things considered, in my opinion, he's definitely the best third rounder from the 2008 draft. The 2009 third round definitely produced some great players, but my pick definitely has to be Tyson Barrie, who was selected 64th overall by the Avalanche and is a current member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The honorable mention from this year's third round definitely have to go to Riley Smith and Cody Eakin, both current members of the Vegas Golden Knights. But getting back to Tyson Barrie, he has basically been a really good offensive defenseman every single year that he's played in the NHL. He's got 335 career points in 534 games, but you gotta remember, Babcock's system really just wasn't good for Tyson Barrie, and if Keefe was the head coach all year, I think he'd probably be up there around 35 to 40. From 2010, the pick definitely has to be Bryan Rust, who was selected 80th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins, another guy who is having a career year and is lighting it up with the Pittsburgh Penguins with 43 points in 36 games, already 21 goals. The goals and points are both career highs already. I will give an honorable mention to Radko Gudas, but of the two, I definitely gotta go with Bryan Rust, and it'll be really interesting to see if he can keep up on this pace for the rest of the season, but if he does and this team can get fully healthy, the Penguins are going to be scary. From the 2011 draft, my pick definitely has to be Vincent Trocheck, who was the 64th overall pick by the Florida Panthers. And Vincent Trocheck has turned out to be a very good player for them. His career high is 75 points that came in the 2017-18 season. Unfortunately, wasn't able to replicate that last year because he only played 55 games due to injury, and the first half of this season for him has kind of been slow offensively, but still he brings a lot more to the game than just his offense. He's a very good two-way centerman and a very underrated player. From the 2012 draft, this one was pretty stacked in terms of third round picks, but I went with Freddie Andersen, who was selected 87th overall. I think this is actually his second time appearing in this series because he was actually drafted twice. He was selected in the 7th round in 2010 by Carolina, but went unsigned and then re-entered the draft in 2012. But he has had a great career so far. 207 wins, 88 losses, and 48 overtime losses, a career .917 save percentage, and a 2.62 goals against. Honorable mentions from this third round include Matt Murray, Colton Parayko, Esa Lindell, and Shane Gostisbehere. Like I said, this third round was stacked. 2013, another stacked draft class when it comes to third round picks, but my pick definitely has to be Jake Guentzel, who was selected 77th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jake Guentzel is just 25 years old, already has a 40-goal season, and was lighting it up this year with 20 goals and 43 total points in just 39 games. It's really a shame that he had to get injured. But like I said, if this Pittsburgh team can get fully healthy, they are going to be dangerous. Other honorable mentions from this third round include Brett Pesce, Pavel Buchnevich, Anthony Duclair, and Oliver Bjorkstrand. From 2014, my pick is easily Brayden Point, who is selected 79th overall by the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I will give honorable mentions to Elvis Merzlikins, who's having a really good year, and Ilya Sorokin, who hasn't played an NHL game yet, but looks like a great prospect. But obviously, you gotta go with Brayden Point on this one. The dude's just 23 years old and already has a 40-goal, 90-point season. He lit it up last year. And so far this season, he's having a really good year as well with 42 points in 46 games. Probably would be doing a little bit better if he didn't have that injury to start the year. But still, Brayden Point is definitely one of the best young players in the NHL. From 2015, we have the second Lightning member in a row in Anthony Cirelli, who is their 72nd overall pick. And Cirelli's having a really good season with 33 points in 48 games, which is just 6 off of his career high, which was 39 that he put up last year. Anthony Cirelli is like a Swiss Army knife. He can play in the bottom 6, he can slot into the top 6 and play well, he can kill penalties, he can play in the power play, he can really do it all. And to get that type of player in the third round is an absolute steal, and of course it had to be Tampa Bay to get such a good young player. From 2016, small sample size here, but it has to be Adam Fox, who was selected 66th overall by the Calgary Flames. Since then, he was traded from the Flames to the Hurricanes, and then from the Hurricanes to the Rangers, but now he's on the Rangers, he's playing in the NHL, and having a great rookie season. In 48 games so far, Fox has 6 goals and 21 assists for 27 points and is a +9, and all the rookie talk is going to go to guys like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar, but don't forget about Adam Fox because he's been fantastic for New York. It's definitely going to be a massive part of their future. From the 2017 draft, only one player has played NHL games from the third round, and that is Cale Fleury, who was selected 87th overall by the Montreal Canadiens. He's played 41 games this year and has 1 goal for 1 total point and is a -4 rating. Has obviously been playing heavily sheltered minutes and isn't someone that they rely on heavily right now, but for the future, I definitely think he is going to be a pretty solid defender. And of course, no third rounders from 2018 have played in the NHL yet, and same goes for the 2019 draft, so we really can't determine who those players are going to be just yet. But with all that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and make sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you disagree with any of my picks. What player would you have picked for that particular spot? And thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel lately. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys have not already, make sure to click that subscribe button for some more NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.